Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. It is Divine reading you. Um, Welcome back to my channel, and I thank you for listening to these very faceless reviews. So you're back on one of those. Thank you for being here, and let me know what you think and just what you're feeling about these reviews. I love talking about these, especially during like this time when it's like winter, it's cold, it's getting colder, and yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out in the house. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing on Netflix, and I was really getting excited about this movie, this documentary called Alieen, the Queen of the Serial Killers. Alieen, the Queen of the Serial Killers. And I just watched it, and I had a lot of feelings around it, and I thought it was interesting. I don't know if they've made this before. I mean, must have, right? Or I don't know if it was made by Netflix. I don't think so. But yeah, I just feel like I had never seen this before, and I was happy to see it. But well, before I get into it, I do want to say, just please, if you're listening to this and you want to listen to it, and you're going to keep listening to it, go ahead and like and subscribe. Please subscribe to this channel. I am it's very raw. I know that is just kind of the theme of how I do things is it's probably just because I have ADHD, so I'm just moving around a lot doing different stuff. So anyway, but yeah, go ahead and just be a part of the family, be a part of the collective, the tribe, however you want to think about it. Like, let's connect with each other, and I would love to hear from you, your thoughts and stuff around like the movies and the different things that I've talked about on this channel already. So, but yeah, so I just watched Alieen, the Queen of the Serial Killers, and I have watched the movie Monster, which is I was talking to my sister about this the other day. The movie Monster, which is starring Charlize Theron. She is an actress she's really beautiful and awesome. I think she does great as acting, and she also just does a great portrayal of Alieen, the serial killer. And I think both of these stories, this documentary and then the feature film that I've watched, I've seen it several times, not because I'm like, oh my goodness, I love watching serial killing movies, but it's one of the only ones that I can actually watch that's like based on a true story, and really listening to her story. There's just so I have so much compassion for her, like, and maybe that's I mean, I feel like that's kind of I feel like it's clear that that's what these directors, that's what they were maybe trying to pull out. That's what it feels like, especially in this one, the documentary. Because, you hear this woman, you hear her story of like what she's gone through, like being abused, basically like kind of like homeless, like kind of very transient, and a prostitute. And that profession, being a prostitute, put her in a place where she could be hurt. I believe that she really went through a lot of violence, and because she went through that violence, especially the first, the thing that really set everything off was that violent rape that she talks about in the trial, and then you see it in the movie, right? And I mean, I really feel like you can't you can't fake in that. You can't fake those things. Like, those are very, you can just tell, like, she went through a lot of stuff, like dealing with this person. And I believe, and I know, I'm like, she probably feared for her life. I mean, anyone in that room listening to her account again and then seeing it on the video or in the movie, like, no, like, this is really violent and horrible. And no, of course she, you know, defended herself, and thank goodness that she did. You're right, because it would have been him or her, right? And you could tell that. So I just wanted to, like, you know, say that, like, and I feel that, like, and just, you know, it just hurts my heart. You know, I get really hurt because, and I've heard this before, another account where someone said, women don't just kill for no reason. You know, like, that's not what we do. White men, sure, they're going to kill for whatever reason. You know, even white, you know, people of color, they're going to kill for other reasons, you know, probably for survival, in one way, you know. But, like, women, you know, overall, you know, maybe things have changed. You know, this was, like, you know, 1991, you know, and so things were maybe different now, and things have obviously changed a lot with, like, the internet and just so many things. But, like, you know, I think women kill to survive, you know, because they feel like they're threatened. They're gonna be the killed if they don't kill. Does that make sense? So it's just like, and I feel like that is true. Like, I feel like that's really what was going on with her. And I feel like the way they talk about the way she was, like, kind and, you know, just like a sweet person, you know, and you watch her. I mean, I think, you know, during the trial, you can see the way she's, like, talking back, and you can tell, like, the prosecutor and the judge, like, they didn't like her. They decided, we don't like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not a sexy, beautiful woman, and so we don't think that she, you know, we believe that she must be violent, you know. And also, you know, they talked about in the documentary, like, oh, these are white men, you know. So it's like, oh my goodness, she's killing these white men, like, you know, like, yeah, they're on gung ho just because of that fact. Like, these are white men in Florida, and she's killing them, you know. And it doesn't bring into account any of the fact that, like, these men were very violent, you know. They're very, very, very violent, you know, and all the other things that they had going on, you know what I'm saying, overall. And it's just, like, it's just horrible, like, and recognizing, like, you know, women don't do those kinds of things. They don't, you know, the fact that she was put to death, after these trials and stuff that she had to go through, like, I know she got very tired, very, very tired. And the thing that, like, really just, like, it was kind of breaking my heart, and maybe, I don't know, I wonder what other people would think about this, like, having compassion towards her, and, you know, different things like this. But I had compassion for her, because this is a clear case where a person's background, you know, how they had to survive, is actually push them to be the violent killer that they were saying that she was, you know. But it's clear that she really wasn't. And she had a lot of love for this woman, you know. Her name was Tylee or something like that. In the movie, her name is Stelby. But the real heartbreaking part connected to that was like, this is like, they basically trapped her and she was put in a position where she had to confess, and she only did that because she had so much love for this woman, right? She was willing to do whatever she needed to do for this woman to keep her alive or keep her out of jail or whatever. And it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. And it's like, you ask the question, it begs the question, like, why did that woman, her partner, who they were in a relationship apparently for 4 years, why did she do that to her? Why did she, decide like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like work with the police and let her confess and do all this? Like, it's just like, it's like, what? I don't know. It just, then I get a little bit like, for me, it's like, okay, yes, now because I know the story of how she did this, like, what happened, what led her to that, then I get a little bit curious around what was their dynamic. Why was this woman, how did she get pushed to sell her partner out? Like, I don't know. And so it just makes me very curious. I'm like, just, I feel like what comes to my mind is she was, again, very vulnerable. I feel like she was very vulnerable to this woman, so much to the point that, like, she was willing to, like, take the fall. I mean, obviously she did the killings, there's no doubt about it, but she was willing to, like, do whatever she needed to do with that, for that woman, because they were in a relationship. So I just get curious about that. I get curious about the other parts of the dynamic and stuff like that. So yeah. And then the other thing that is really just like, oh my goodness, like again, I feel like the prosecutor, they went in because they already had the confession, right? That was the thing. Never confess. First of all, never confess. Never confess. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to say that. Never confess. Because why? You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. You're just giving it to them. You're just giving to them. If you confess, they don't need to do any work. They literally don't have to do any work to prove that you're guilty of what they're accusing you of. And so don't do that, right? And like, anyway, if I'm just like, this is one of those things where I'm like, I wish I could write this story different, right? It makes you like, my creative mind starts to go like, oh, this story could be so much better. And where she doesn't die by death penalty and stuff like that. But so anyway, so that was the thing. Like, that was the main thing, because otherwise, if she hadn't done that, they would have had to do a lot of work to figure out what actually happened, right? Without her saying those things. So anyway, because he didn't have to do any real work, the prosecutor, in the trial, as we're watching, like, he basically could just be kind of an asshole from what I could see. And he also didn't have to do any work. He literally didn't have to do anything, because you know why? One of the next clips is like another woman she's like a reporter, and she's saying like, oh yeah, it took me 1 day to find these documents that kind of let me know that it's reported that the guy who killed, or that she killed, was a violent criminal himself, right? And he was most likely to hurt other people in the ways that, like, that he did, or, he be violent towards Alieen the way he did. And it's like, are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? That, again, the only reason why that could stand and they didn't have to dig and ask any questions and pull those bits of evidence and stuff like that of this guy was because she confessed. And so it just hurts my heart. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't, I just wish it could have been different, in that way. Like, Cause yeah, like that, obviously, I mean, the scene that she describes, she says it on trial, and then you also see the scene in the movie Monster, right? I mean, the way he treated her and the things that she describes is absolutely horrible. Like, you can't even like imagine that a person would like do that to another person. You know, you have to be a very sick individual to have those kind of fantasies and thoughts, and act on those things, right? And I mean, and I feel like what she described is like, oh no, he was definitely, if she didn't fight back and like shoot him first and all that, I mean, she would be dead. I mean, that's what, I mean, they were alone in the woods. Like, there was no recourse. Like, nobody was around. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like absolutely horrible. And I just like, even the things like the prosecutor was saying, like, was kind of like putting like a little bit of holes in her of like, oh, like he did this to you, did this. He wasn't even listening to her, right? He didn't need to. He didn't have to. Oh, he needed to, but he didn't have to because of the confession. You know, it's like, it was almost as like I don't know why they even did that. Why, it's like, why did we do this show of a trial? Because you've got everything that you need to decide that it's over for her, you know? So just like, anyway, and maybe, you know, I'm in this place right now. I'm like, can somebody please like try to convince me that like there's another part of this? Because like, no, all I'm seeing is that she's the victim, you know, for real. And listen, I don't believe that people should die, you know, whatever. I don't, but I do believe that people should defend themselves. You know, I do believe that, you know, yeah, it's either me or you, right? Like, I absolutely don't want to hurt anybody, you know, but like, I feel like people have a right to do that, you know, and so I just feel like in the case of women, I feel like it's a lot is wrapped up in who she was as not, you know, not a beautiful, sexy, attractive woman. You know, that was a big part of it. It's like who she is. We don't like, as men, you know, we don't like that, and so she's gonna be punished by that. You know what I mean? But if this was a woman who was like cute and more attractive and more sexually like, you know, I don't know, attractive to men and stuff like that, and I feel like, oh, like maybe, yeah, you know, we might have a little bit more sympathy, you know, and so yeah, yeah, it just like it irritates me. It irritates me because you can see it. You can see, like, you can pull back and look at the picture and see like, oh, I can see actually what's happening here. And it's just, yeah. Anyway, but again, I think this story is really beautiful. Hopefully what usually happens, like the feature film will actually be on Netflix soon, and so I can actually watch it again, enjoy that, because yeah, like I think Charlize Theron, she like won an award of some kind, because she did a really good job during this, just like how she portrayed, you know, this this human, you know, and this woman, and yeah, all the complexities of her, I feel like it really, you could see it, you know, and she just did a really good job. So anyway, so tell me what you think about this. I'm glad I got to watch it. I was waiting for it to get on Netflix, so I'm glad I just, you know, tapped into it. And yeah, thanks for listening. A lot of love to you. Bye.